Hello protea lovers, this is an update on Mimetes cucullatus. I grew this plant from seed at the end of 2015, so it's approximately 5 years old. At that time I grew about 20 plants. I tried putting 2 of them in the ground and they both perished. I think the drainage just wasn't good enough. So last year as an experiment I made this raised bed and crossed my fingers and put a plant in there. And fortunately this plant just took off and has been growing just amazing. I'm really blown away how well this plant is done in this raised bed. Since this plant is in a raised bed, I water it just as if it's in a pot. If it's over 100 degrees, I water it daily. If it's between 90 and 100 degrees, I water it every other day. And if it's below 90 degrees, around every 4 or 5 days. Here's a close-up of the bloom. The tips of the leaves are red, and then you can see the white flowers hanging down. Really gorgeous blooms, very unusual. There's really nothing else like it in the world. I'm going to sort of pan around and you can see some of the other blooms. Hoping to get some seeds from these plants. Here's a close-up of another flower. Just gorgeous. Here's a view from up top just to show you how thick and lush this plant is. It is growing so well and there are very few dead branches. I was at the UC Arboretum and their Mimetes, I noticed, had quite a few dead branches. I'm not sure why that is. It could be because of this raised bed and the frequent water it's getting. For comparison, here's another Mimetes I grew at the same time from seed. It is in a large pot. It is growing, but not really growing like the one in the ground. As you can see, there's some dead branches at the bottom. It is growing, but it's not thick and lush like the other plant, and there aren't any flowers on this plant. I'm sure this plant would really love to go in the ground, but for now I'm going to go ahead and just keep it in this pot. One more comparison, this is another Mimetes grown at the same time, and it's in a 15-gallon pot, and it's doing much better than the one in the 7-gallon pot. And it looks like it's going to bloom. As you can see, that it has the red leaf tips, just hasn't put out the flower yet. So this plant in the 15-gallon pot is growing very well. Obviously not as big as the one in the ground, but it's doing pretty good. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this brief update of my Mimetes plant. You too can grow these if you give it a shot. It's really not that hard. These were pretty easy to germinate.